As y'all can see, I am not in my normal spot, but I did bring some things to make sure we went live tonight. So I'll give y'all a quick show on my thoughts on Lane Kiffin's press conference here today at SC Media Days. Not in the same old, same old. I'm in a different spot tonight, have some things going on, and but I made sure to bring a studio to you. Make sure to bring a studio to you. Welcome into Walking Off. It's not going to be a long show tonight. It's going to be a quick show. I just want to make sure I got my comments out and how I felt. Lane Kiffin's press conference today at SEC Media Days went. But before I get to Lane Kiffin, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow on X, subscribe on YouTube, follow all the social media channels. It's a big, big help, guys. I really appreciate it. Uh, if I'm going this far to bring stuff from me certain places to make sure we can do a quick show and it looks decent, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I really, really appreciate it. Before I get to Lane Kiffin, though, is one thing I really like. I have to say, I truly love about SEC Media Days. One thing I truly, truly, truly love is coaches speak. If you listen to Steve Sarkisian's press conference, the most out of anybody's, you heard coaches speak. You heard him say at Texas, the standard is the standard. The standard is the standard. What's the standard, Steve? What's the standard? I don't know the standard. You got to tell me the standard. What's the standard, Steve? The standard is the standard. And then even more coaches speak, even more. We have great team. We have guys that bought in. Arch didn't go on social media. Arch didn't do this. Arch didn't do that. Blah 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 blah. We don't control the schedule. It's things like that. I love coaches speak. It really makes me happy hearing a guy like Steve Sarkisian get into that coaches speak mentality. Also, by the way, if you're in the chat, let me know if you can if my audio is okay. It's my first time like doing something like this. So just let me know if what the heck is going on? Let me know if you can hear me decently on the stream. But with everything going on with Lane and everything going on with like around the SEC Media Days press conference and all the jabs and all of this and all of that, the one person you can understand that does not have coaches speak in his veins is Lane Kiffin. That is Lane Kiffin. And before we get into everything he said, and then I'm going to take a moment at some point to reflect on Pete Golding's comments because I think I'm gonna have a little bit different opinion. There's two opinions I have. I think it's gonna be different than the general public on either Lane Kiffin or Pete Golding. But before we get to that, and how he doesn't do coaches speak, the media today it wasn't Nick Saban, it wasn't the guys on the panel, it wasn't. Like today, I heard Blaine Crane, right? I think it was Crane and Cone. I think it was Blaine. No, it was Cone saying Lane danced around the question about Oxford. I don't think he did. I don't think he danced around at all. I think he answered it before he ever had to even question to him. The media today, from what I've seen on X, and I purposely stayed off of social media today to a point to kind of take heed of our head coach's words. Stay off of social media. Comparisons a thief of joy. Enjoy your time, this and that. So I stayed off of social media for a little bit today. So I tried to take his words and do that. What I'm happy I haven't seen is a whole lot of Ole Miss fan reaction or a lot of the media personalities' reactions. Because when I did get on later, all I noticed was media members upset Lane took too long in the press conference with his opening monologue. So you're telling me for 7 months you wanted to drag this guy through the mud. Further than that, 8 months. For 8 months, you wanted to drag this man through the mud, whether you agree with what he did or not. But now you want him to succumb to your whim and your wills so you can ask him questions? Newsflash to every reporter that was sitting in SEC media days. We're not there for to watch for you. We're there watching to hear Lane Kiffin speak. You asking questions is a benefit for you. We want to hear Lane. We don't care about you. This year was a little different. We wanted to hear the media and how they reacted to everything Lane said. I get that. But it doesn't change the fact no one's there for you. They're there for the coach. You're not special. He is. And what do I mean by Lane answering the question about tampering? Not tampering. Take it back. I apologize. The Vanity Fair article comments. What do I mean by he already addressed those comments? During his opening monologue, right? And he's talking about the comments Greg Sankey made about Knox telling him he could stay on social media. And talking about it's right around the time when stuff's still hot from him leaving Ole Miss, and it's really still getting hot on social media because everything's taking a step down to a point. It gets ramped up, but then it's never at the same heat as it was prior. And if you listen to the way Lane spoke, he was kind of harkening back to what Lane has said in the past and Pete Golding said yesterday, and also what Pete Golding has said in the past. I I would understand Pete and Lane are still friends. They don't hold any ill will to one another. Why should they? Like today, he said, I took another job. I wish I could have done things to make everyone happy, but I realize I can't do that. And in going through his speech, talking about leaving social media and getting that moment of clarity and realizing, oh, like I was addicted to this. I needed this. I would get done with something and run straight to my phone. I would do this. I would do that. And now being away from it, he feels healthier, cleaner, happier. I think he was subtly telling both LSU and Ole Miss fans to stop comparing one another. Enjoy the moment you have right now. By sitting there and, well, we're not comparing ourselves to Ole Miss exactly because we're a better program. But at the same time, Ole Miss comparing themselves to us. What's a better town, Baton Rouge or Oxford? Who's a better coach, Golding or Kiffin? Who won the Georgia game, Golding or Kiffin? Who lost the Georgia game, Golding or Kiffin? By the way, Kiffin had a subtle shot in one of the interviews today. Golding, he deserves it. He earned it. But I think in all that talk about social media and getting better and cleansing himself and getting rid of the clutter and getting rid of things, he was suddenly telling LSU and Ole Miss fans, calm down. You're both at new points in your fandom, in the university's story. The Lane Kiffin era at Ole Miss is gone. It is now at LSU. The Pete Golding era at Oxford is now. Don't compare. After, and we're going to get into this a little bit later. Like after I talk about this, I'm going to talk about Pete Golding's press conference before I deep dive into Lane's press conference today. But I'll give Pete Golding credit, and I've heard people online still just giving Pete Golding the beans for his press conference. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. How you can't take a human moment if someone gives a gracious comment to a man who stood in front of a podium, spoke with clarity, spoke with diction, spoke with confidence, and made people believe in him. You still have to punch him in the face. But we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. Through all of this, Lane is trying, I believe he was trying to get across the message of what to be excited about for both programs. As you can hear, I honestly believe, and it's funny, today when I listened to that Lane press conference like about 10 times. So I wanted to really break it down and kind of think about it. I kept thinking of the word yogi. Now, bear with me. I know he does hot yoga. That's not what I mean when I say yogi. I'm thinking like if you watch the Ricky Williams 30 for 30 documentary and he's like the stoned out Ricky Williams yogi, right? Like Stephen Baldwin and Encino Man, if you're old enough to understand that reference, Yogi, right? Like very centered, very down to earth and relaxed. Yogi, a guy who doesn't let anything really bother him. Teflon Don, let stuff bounce off him. He's good. He's good. He has the mixture of like, he really is the mixture of a Mike Leach and a Nick Saban. Because Mike Leach, if you ever heard, I hate to give this idiot credit, Urban Meyer story about Mike Leach when he had him come to talk to coaches. He woke him up at 6 a.m. And Mike's like, I don't wake up at 6 a.m. I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. Mike Leach was very much that fly by the seat of your pants, roll with the punches type of guy, where Nick Saban is, I have hard and fast rules. And I have hard and fast rules for a reason because these rules have given me success. By the way, Lane being the first coach to get three head coaching jobs in the SEC ever. Hmm, interesting. Interesting. Lane being the yogi he is in my mind, I think he's changing. If you go back to like, I'll say it, Puffy Lane when he first got to Ole Miss, and then throughout the years, him kind of getting in better shape, him kind of fix his life, but still having the openly speaking today about his alcohol addiction and things of that nature, right? Having those moments of uh vulnerability. I think coming to LSU has given him that chance to truly like turn the page. He's truly turned the page on his life and got himself past those addictions and letting him see like this is what I care about. He has a reason to fight now. He needs a reason to fight. The funny thing is hearing him talk about NIL structure and rev share structure and playoff structure today, because Lane doesn't go up there and give you coach speak or fluff. He's telling you what he's thinking. He hasn't been on social media. So all he has time to do when his kids aren't around, his ex-wife isn't around, he doesn't play golf. If he's not at the facility, he's just sitting there, his mind's going. I promise you, Lane's probably written out 10 different scenarios for the college football playoff, 10 different scenarios on how to make NIL and rev share work. I can promise you, he's probably already done it. And I did hear somebody say, oh, he wants multi-year contracts. You can't do that. Yes, you can. Ole Miss is already doing it, apparently, right? That's why they're suing Devin Harper and Prince Prince Umam and Prince. It's been a long day, guys. I'm tired. I'm not even going to try to say that last name. My opinion on Lane Kiffin changed dramatically today. I always liked Lane Kiffin. I can say that. I always did like Lane Kiffin. I always had a slight issue with him when he was a head coach for Ole Miss because we had to face him. And it's like I put in the post yesterday. David Billiot put out a great post, staff writer, and the valley shook. If y'all can hear that, right? I brought everything, by the way. I don't have good internet in this hotel room. But David put a post out and he talks about, a 1 year separate from SEC media days, you go from Brian Kelly to Lane Kiffin, how things have changed. And I'm put in the post. I remember that year thinking Lane Kiffin's a problem, but Lane Kiffin is a problem, but Brian Kelly will figure it out. I had faith in Brian Kelly to figure it out. And when I say Lane Kiffin is a problem, I didn't mean the same instance that somebody asked him today, like, oh, Lane, you're the problem. I mean, oh, that man a problem. He knows how to call good offense. We're going to have issues in Oxford. Then it turns to LSU, we are the problem. And I have faith in Brian Kelly blaming someone else. The way it's changed. And I think even from the moment Lane left Oxford, sitting on the tarmac talking to Marty Smith about, everything going on, his exit from Oxford, him talking about getting run off of the road and people flipping off his car, like flipping him and his son off, all these things. I think he's changed even from that. I think it's wonderful. Lane Kiffin's turning a page in his life, and I think we all should kind of look at that and be very, very, very excited. Do me a quick favor, hit the like button, subscribe. Jared, thank you for sharing the post, my man. Thank you very much. I really, really, really appreciate it. Sorry, it's kind of a ghetto setup, but I'm trying to give a show out. I couldn't let myself not have it. Going to do a quick break when we come back. We're going to talk about Pete Golden's comments and get a deeper dive into Lane's comments. Stay with us.
John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcome the world. Like that truth that Jesus won is so powerful, so significant in our lives if we fully trust and fully surrender to that promise. Like no matter what we're going to face, no matter what stress, no matter what challenges, no matter what anxiety, like Jesus promises peace, and he reminds us that all of the sin, the fear, the doubt, the shame, like he overcame it all. He paid the price for your sin and mine when he went to that cross. He died a death that we deserve. He went into the grave. He didn't stay there. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and the promise is true that he's coming back someday. So the power and the significance of that verse is now in a 2-word phrase that's on a t-shirt, on a hat, on a hoodie, and simply said, Jesus.
Even in the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test.
Join me and your favorite players by expressing your faith and assisting local ministries. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off your orders at JesusOneApparel.com. 15% of your purchase will support local ministries like the LSU FCA. That is code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off. Jesus One. In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Lemise Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lemise Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lemise Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredients in anything made is love. Lemise Sourdough Bakery.
And we are back. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Thank you. Thank you, everyone who is in here tonight, hanging out with me. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to spend with me this evening. It's hard for me to do the chat tonight, guys, with pulling up chats, but Toki Doki, what's up, my man? Robbie Plays On, what's happening, partner? Babylon on the Bayou. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for being in here. And KK, how you doing, sweetie? How you doing? Maybe FaceTime Oliver in a little bit. Said he want to talk to you. Anyways, so let's get to Pete Golden real quick. I want to speak on him because what I liked about yesterday with that Pete Golden press conference was that a lot of LSU fans gave Pete love. And it's not me wanting LSU fans to love Pete Golding or support Ole Miss in any form or fashion. It's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is you had the humanity in you to say, hey, he did a good job. He did a good job. Yeah. I can be human and be a person enough to say, hey, good job, Pete. Good job. Now, did everything he say was fantastic? No. Did he have shots in the little separate room, kind of throwing shots out at Lane, which Lane got his shot back today? Like wishing he could have finished out the Georgia game, right? When he said that today, kind of throwing it back at, oh, I wasn't prepared for Kentucky. Well, why'd you give up? Why'd you give up that that touchdown. Like, you're the defensive coordinator. But Pete Golding in his press conference also, I think, took a really good moment to sit there and try to also quell the fires between LSU and Ole Miss fans. And a lot of people had a kind of crazy takes on some of the things he said. And I think that you we have nothing else to talk about right now. This is a nationwide thing. Everyone's looking at the SEC and listening to these four coaches per day speak their minds. And when Pete Golding comes up, it was everyone was looking forward to three coaches this week: Lane Kiffin, Pete Golding, Nick Saban on the broadcast. That's who everybody was looking forward to seeing this week. That's all anybody could talk about because every day they talked about Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin. Can Ole Miss do it? Lane Kiffin, Lane Kiffin. They gave the man a round of applause when he walked to the stage. These are reporters supposed to be non-biased, no favoritism. As he walks to the stage, they're giving the man a round of applause. As he leaves the stage, giving a round of applause. So much so, Cole Kublik, who I'm starting to really, 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 really dislike, is just glazing Pete Golding. Did you ever see someone get a round of applause walking off the stage? Oh my goodness! Oh, it's so. Did he get a round of applause on the way up too? Shut up, Cole. Just because Lane doesn't respond to your text doesn't mean you have to sit there and just glaze Pete Golding. You're better than that. You went to Auburn. But I got to give Pete Golding credit. He did a really good job, and he also tried to quell the fires. Whenever they brought up the situation, like when they brought up, like, a lot of people are giving Pete grief about, you have an ex, right? Well, when you get married, and people saying, what does he mean by that? He means if your wife, if you get married, knows about one of your exes, like say y'all went to school together and you dated this girl for a long time, whatever. That girl's name is going to be in her head for the rest of her life until she dies. The girl it's in her head, not your wife. Because we all have insecurities. Ole Miss just went through a breakup. And us as LSU fans, I think our biggest issue is Ole Miss fans telling us how we should be acting in this moment, being the new bride. No, Ole Miss. We've been in this game forever. The greatest of all time left us to go to the NFL, and he failed. And then when he tried to come back, just like when Lane got here, politicians got involved and said, no. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. I apologize. I apologize. All right. All right. There we go. All right. What Back to what I was saying, Pete is trying his best to say, hey, y'all relax. Take the temperature down. Take the temperature down. It's not that bad. Like, aren't you happy I'm here, Ole Miss? Aren't you happy I stayed? Aren't you happy of the coach you have here on campus? Act like it. Stop worrying about Lane Kiffin so much is basically what he's saying to the Ole Miss fans. And so he's saying to the LSU fans, be happy you have Lane. Be happy. But what I can't stand is people after that press conference just being like, oh my, oh, how can anybody give Pete any flowers? How can he give him any flowers at all? This is so crazy. It's Pete Golding. So be a little human. Just be a little human. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Just be a little human. Acknowledge the man did good. You're not becoming a fan. You're not joining the fan club. You're not joining his Patreon and sending him money every month. Be a human. He's trying to quell the temperature down too, right? Yeah, he had the sly comments. And yes, I get it. People want to talk about, is it that bad? Is it that bad, David? Is it that bad, buddy? I'm trying. It's the iPhone. Crap. Is the video that bad, my guy? Let me know if the video is that bad or the audio is that bad. Now I'm self conscious. Oh, the video is bad, huh? The video is bad. Don't tell me that. Ah, okay. All right. We won't be too much longer then. I don't want to put y'all through a bad video. Um, so I gotta give Pete that credit. But we talk about glass houses. We all have glass houses. We all have past. We all have secrets we don't want people to know. Keep that same energy when you're talking about yourself. No one's perfect, but the man upstairs. He's the only one that's infallible. He's the only one that's infallible. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Ah, See if I can fix this real quick. I just realized y'all can hear all that. That sounds great. No more privacy. All right, back to Lane. We kind of talked about him taking all the time from the SEC media. If you want to drag the guy for 8 months, he can do whatever he wants with his time on the podium at SEC media days. He could have talked the whole time. He's not. Yeah, it's a press conference. He can sit there and talk the whole time if he wants. Who cares? You have another session with him right after in the digital media space. Digital media space. Go talk to him then. Or you're not good enough for digital media side of everything. Which I want to give a shout out to Noah Tingle at Tingle and Co. I thought I'd heard him before, but maybe I hadn't. But I was really happy to hear him getting his questions answered, getting some questions with Trades, Witt, and TJ Dottery. I thought Dottery had a great press conference today. Witt, of course, had a great press conference today. The Trades slipping up. Did Trades slip up when he said, "I still haven't decided"? I mean, nah, I'm not playing basketball. Could we get Trades on the hardwood this year with Will Wade? Could we get Trades on the hardwood with Will Wade? Because Trades is gone after this year football, right? Like he's gone, so he can. Maybe NFL teams wouldn't want him to play basketball. I don't see them wanting him to play basketball. Let's talk about Lane Kiffin, like the further nuts and bolts of the Lane Kiffin press conference. The one question that bothered me, and it wasn't the question that bothered me, to be completely honest with you. What bothered me was you could hear the cowardice in the man's voice when he was asking it. Hey, Melly, I'm seeing chats. Like I'm on my iPhone, guys, so it's like I get one at a time. Just saw Alex. How you doing, sweetheart? Melly, how you doing? Sorry for the video and the audio, guys. I promise you, it's gonna get better. It's just make it do what we got. Anyways, the guy who asked a question about Ole Miss and that place, the inability to be inclusive at Ole Miss hurt him in his recruiting efforts with having more 5-star recruits here in 6 months, having this, having that, and all these issues. He named all these accolades, and Lane even made a joke about saying, "You should work for Jimmy Sexton. Like you were doing a good job." What bothered me about the question wasn't the fact that he asked it. We knew the question was coming. The cowardice in your voice. If you're going to step up and you're going to ask that question to that man, I'll give you the credit you deserve. You stepped up and asked. You did more than most people would have done. You actually asked it. Good job. More power to you. You were a coward. I could hear it in your voice. If you have the balls to stand up and go, "Did you mean it like this?" Then say it like that. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. Don't. Uh, uh, Would do you think it would have been better if Ole Miss was more inclusive? Yes, that's what he means. And people are saying Lane backed down and like said, I apologize. No, he didn't. Go back and listen to it. He apologizes for the timing in which he made the comments, which I think he's just doing that to like brush it off, honestly. Because before he apologizes for using that term, which I don't know what term he's talking about, I think he's just meaning inclusive or whatever. What he says before that is, it's not only an opinion I had, it's an opinion coaches had before me, and it's true. He said it kind of quick. He was like, it was just opinion I had, and also opinion shared by coaches before me, and it's true. And then he went on. And then he went on. He look, and I'm not sitting here saying Lane bury him, call him racist. I'm not saying that. When I say this, I'm not saying that. If Lane believes in the comments he made, he shouldn't apologize. He shouldn't. That's how I feel about it. If anybody in the chat, do me a favor. If you don't think I stand on what I say, go ask David. David will tell you, I'll stand on it to my detriment. But I'm the kind of person, I'm not going to sit here and, oh, hey, you can get something out of this. I don't care. I don't need anything out of anything that I don't like. Period. Um, and that's the kind of guy I think Lane is. Lane's not going to find the avenue he can like, oh, this will work for right now, but I'll go back to crapping on it later. That's not Lane. I just wish that guy would have had a little more stones about him when he asked the question. If you're gonna be that dude, be that dude. Ask it. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. What else was asked during the press conference? um. Oh, let me go back to this real quick. Let me go back to this real quick. Pete Golding dancing around the tampering question. What do you want him to do? He's not going to stand up there and go, "Hey, we tampered. You saw the text messages. We tampered." No, he can't do that. It's the same way. Like I saw people on X saying Lane should walk up to the podium, tell Pete to be in the front row, and hand him $1 million check for Prince Will and Devin Harper, and be like, "You're happy now." You can't do that. I think a lot of people are taking their validated vitriol against Keith Carter and now pushing it to Pete Golding because Pete Golding is the one on stage, face forward, ready for us to take the heat, ready to take the heat from us. I think that's where people are misguiding their anger or frustration right now. Pete, yeah, he's sitting there, he's texting guys, he's doing this, he's doing what coaches do. I'll be honest, do you not think Lane did it? What's the quarterback from the Pacific Northwest? Damon Williams, I think was his name. Do you think he texted him? Look, Pete, you got caught. He's not hiding from it. He's like, our compliance department does a great job and they're going to cover me. That's, anyways, back to Lane. And again, like I was saying earlier, the Yogi side come out. He's very vulnerable in these moments. You can tell Lane, like he talked today about how coming to LSU, it's kind of push him out of his comfort zone. He's had to kind of be involved in things he wouldn't have to be involved with before at Ole Miss. He's had to experience things, or more is actually he said more is asked of him at LSU than he has had asked of him at any other school he's coached at, and he's enjoying it. And a part of me believes him at the same time. I don't. Yeah, you're the grand marshal or the king of a Mardi Gras parade. Yeah, you're gonna have fun. I don't think Lane has a ton of fun doing that though. I don't think Lane's a big social guy. I think he likes small. He doesn't like large crowds. Like for his social time, granted, he's going to be in a large crowd every Saturday night at LSU. So he loves that, but I think he likes having his smaller, close knit group of people with him all the time. But LSU is having to push it out of him. But he's more willing to do those things now because he doesn't have to ask for anything. He just gets it. Talked about again the alignment today between him, Verge Osbury, Governor Jeff Landry, President Wade Roos. I don't think he said Jeff Landry's name, but I promise you he meant Jeff Landry's name. Talk about the alignment there. Every coach talked about alignment. Texas talked about alignment. Florida talked about alignment. Golding talked about alignment. It's Lane. They're just following Lane Kiffin's footsteps. That's all they're doing. They're just following Lane wherever he goes. He takes a job at LSU. I need alignment, and to have alignment here. And I think other things about what Lane said during his presser. One guy asked about Auburn, and he what else? Who else was it? Why am I blanking on that right now? Oh, Levy. They had a fan ask about Levy in Mississippi State and how if he's gonna have the same kind of rival intensity going into Mississippi State game with LSU as he did with Ole Miss. I don't think he ever went into that game with that heated rivalry. Ole Miss is the only team in the country last year worried about losing Mississippi State. Well, I'll tell you that they're the only team in the SEC last year worried about losing Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl because they're Ole Miss, even though they had 1,000 times more talent and it's Mississippi State. They were worried about losing Mississippi State. Oh, if Lane loses the Egg Bowl, he's fired. No, he wasn't. And he had great things to say about Levy. He talked about his dad a lot. You can hear the maturity growing in Lane's voice, and that's why I'm thinking he's changed. He's changing as a human being, as a man, every day, and it's pretty awesome to see that. You kind of saw, if you go back to Nick Saban, you've heard him talk about it when he's coming to LSU. He's kind of on that path of Lane Kiffin going to the Ole Miss. Not the same drama, not the same scandal, even though there's a reason why Terry didn't want to be in Baton Rouge anymore. Governor's wife. But so he comes to LSU. He's this fiery young head coach. He has all this promise. He wants to win. He wants to do all these things, but he has to learn. He has to learn how to build the system, how to do it right. And he does. And he does. And they win the national championship. And then he heads off to the NFL, thinking he could do, one to test himself. And to this day, and shout out to Ryan Clark. Sorry you lost your job, bud. You have a podcast. You're fine. But you hear him on the pivot with Ryan Clark. And he's saying he regrets it. And if you go back, like, every time I listen to that clip where I see that short, I just picture um, Nick Saban and Skip Bertman and Sexton sitting on that balcony. Sexton can leave, but just I want to hear the conversation between Skip Bertman and Nick Saban. I just want to hear those two just jab a little bit. Just let it fly. Just shoot it a little bit, shoot to shoot. That'd been awesome. But it was that same trajectory. And when Nick got to Bama, he had learned his lessons. He had grown up the same way Lane talked about how when Nick got to Bama, he was around the same age, a little bit older than Lane is now. We're catching, if Lane is the offensive guru that us LSU fans blow him up to be, right? If we believe, because you got to remember this, he said today, and talking about Charlie Weiss, I think it was in the digital media side. Charlie, I get all of this praise for the offense. It's Charlie's offense. He calls it. He needs to get more praise. Talking about how he has a photographic memory, things like that nature. Charlie needs to get his praise. So if we want to build Lane up to this offensive guru, we have to make sure he can do it without Charlie, and he can bring back defense. because he hasn't coached a game here yet. Am I excited? Yes, but I'm not putting him on the same pedestal as Lane Kiffin, as Nick Saban, by any means necessary. Nick Saban's been there, done that. He's the GOAT for a reason. But if it all works out on the same timeline or same uh pattern of events, we're getting Nick Saban to Alabama, Lane Kiffin at LSU at a time where the state was it was a perfect storm because you had a state and a fan base so tired of where the program was, and they were ready to flip that switch. And then Lane comes in, and they go, "You can have whatever you want. What you need? Do you need 65 more hours on the private jet? You want to fly Piper out to see Media Day so she can get an article? Whatever you want, Lane, you got it. Hey, we'll build you a restaurant if you want." They're not doing that. I'm just making a joke. But listening to Lane today made me have a totally different opinion on him. It made me really happy to see the maturity. Now, did he have his jabs? Did he have his yeah, he did. It's Lane. Lane what he uses these moments because he doesn't go do many interviews. He doesn't do many podcasts. He doesn't like being in the limelight really as much as people say he does. He uses these moments to kind of flush out everything that's in his head that he's wanted to say, especially since he's not on social media. And I think today, in all of his conversations with Marty McGee, with Nick and those guys, with the digital media side, with the regular press side, like all these different appearances he made today, the maturity and people say he's using this Hulk Hogan dad reference. He's talking about. I think Lane gets into a situation where if he finds a subject he's passionate about talking about, which would be his dad, he's gonna flush the whole thought out. He's not gonna sit there and just give you a tidbit and go ask you a question. No, it's his answer. He can answer it however he wants. He's gonna flush his full thought out. When it's something he doesn't want to talk about, like today, somebody came up and said, "I got two questions," and you hear the guy go, "One." You get one. And he's like, "Oh, I'll answer that question. I'm gonna answer the second one." Yeah. So the one thing Lane did say today that I think could get him in trouble with LSU fans if you go back and watch it. Two things actually. He didn't say go Tigers. I was kind of disappointed. Every coach, because I was sitting there yesterday, I hear Pete come off the microphone and he hears hotty toddy, which just makes me sick. Yeah, that's weird. I'm like, ever since they just keep following LSU. Following LSU. That's how they finish interviews. That's how they finish little hits. They gotta say the little slogan. Ever since that, go Tigers. But I was like, I can't wait. That go Tigers out of Lane's mouth's gonna hit like crack. And man, he gave me bunk. He didn't say go Tigers. But the other thing that could get LSU fans not mad, but anxious. While speaking about the team he assembled, and next week we'll talk about how Lane talked about building through high school and building through a transfer portal. We kind of said the same thing in two different ways. But while talking about the team he's assembled this year, in the past, like on the In the Bayou podcast with Tyron Matthew, Lane said, "It's not going to happen overnight. Give me time. I know we have all this and that. It's not going to happen overnight." Today he says, "We've built a team that can win now. Now it's going to take a lot of pieces gelling together, a lot of things happening correctly for it to actually work out. But the first time I believe Lane made a statement to where he thinks, yeah, we can do this now. We can compete this year." He didn't guarantee a national championship. I get it. But that's a lot of confidence coming from a coach who's been telling people to take a breath, take it easy. Again, do me a favor, if you can, hit the like button on the stream, whether you're on YouTube or X. If you're on YouTube and you haven't already, please do me a big favor and subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. If you're on X watching the stream, please repost it and like the stream for me. If you're not following, please do. If you haven't gone and followed all other social medias, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, any of the above, please do me a favor and go hit the follow button on those for me. It does a lot to help. If you can, comment on the video. If in the next couple of days, if you have any ideas of how you would like to see Pick to Click done for football season, any interesting ideas you have on how to either pick winners, parameters of win, go on the YouTube channel of this video and leave your comment. I will read them. I'll take them in consideration because I'm still trying to like parse out the perfect way to do. Because baseball is easy. Go hit a home run. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. We'll pass on the next day. I want a winner every week in football. I want to give something away to somebody every week this football season. And by the way, people don't think I'll be hearing what they say. Wait till y'all see how many people have giveaways this year for football season. A lot of people call me giveaway guy. They about to be giving stuff away. Wait till I say I told you so. Just wait. Just wait. But if you can, jump in the comments of this video on the YouTube channel after the stream. Post a comment saying how you would like to see Pick to Click work for the upcoming football season. Like I said, I want to give something away every week this week. Coyote Operator today sent me something today about the whole meet and greets. You can bring one item. If I wasn't going to be at work, I would take this and get one of the players. This is the old school. I guess an old school logo. LSU helmet. I'll get that signed by a player and give it away. Miss Payton. MSA Payton in the chat. 10-2 with losses to McNeese and Louisiana Tech. So that's not, we're not going to do records. Like, so part of me is like, oh, let's do score. But then we had to bring in the lines. I'm like, that's too much for me to deal with. You know, like, okay, first to score. Well, the defensive player scores first. Like I said, I want to give away a prize every week this year. Every week. Every week. It's so much. Ask David. I'm having talking to cops right now because I'm trying to get y'all prizes. Crazy. Crazy work. All right. If you do me a favor, please do. Please do. So let me do this real quick. All right. Let me make sure. Can y'all still hear me? Y'all still good? If you correctly pick someone to score a touchdown offensively or defensively. Yeah, I get that. But okay, Melly, this is my only like hiccup on that. I don't want to say offense or defense. If I say pick a touchdown, I want you to pick a player. Everyone's going to pick Treyas Green. Everyone's going to pick Treyas Green. Everyone's going to pick Jace Brown, Hollenberry, Dylan Jones. And if it's it kind of still has to be the first touchdown, though, because say, for instance, they play La Tech, right? And Treyas Green, Dylan Jones, Hollenberry, Sam Levitt, Jace Brown, all these guys score touchdowns. You know, all these guys score touchdowns. It's going to be 1,000 people in the giveaway. And they'll be like, this isn't fair. You should have narrowed it down. I don't want, I'm trying to make it fun and easy for everyone. But go comment on the YouTube video I've just done streaming to go up. And I wanted to do this before we go, like we always do. Romans chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore, you are without excuse, Oh man, whoever you are who judge, for in that which you judge another, you condemn yourself. For who you judge, practice the same things. What are we talking about with glass houses? For the man you judge for his actions, let him do the same. Like, I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not even gonna get into it because we gotta go. Remember, God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. Know that God loves you. I love you. Thank y'all tonight for putting up with the less than ideal stream on my end. I'm sorry. I would rather have better quality and better audio for everybody, but I'm gonna get it fixed. Hotel Wi-Fi sucks. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. See y'all next week. Give someone a hug. Tell someone you love them. Forgive somebody. And I will see y'all Tuesday.